There was a big moment for the Diamondbacks on August 10th. The Philadelphia Phillies were in town. One Ketel Marte had recently left a game with an ankle injury. And in some ways, it was the Diamondbacks' worst nightmare on August the 10th when Garrett Stubbs slid into second base and appeared to be needlessly aggressive. There's a kind of range of opinions on whether that was a dirty play or not. Ketel, after the game, did not seem to think it was a dirty play.
It absolutely was.
But regardless of how you feel about it, Ketel Marte did re-aggravate his ankle injury that day. He wound up leaving the game. And initially, the word was that he was fine, that it was still a contusion, and there was nothing else really going on. But Ketel wound up needing to miss a little bit of time. The next game that he tried to play, he left the game pretty much immediately. And then he wound up actually going on the injured list as well and missing even more time. And even toward the end of the season, we know that this continued to linger for him. The day that he asked for a day off in the final week of the season, a game that the Diamondbacks lost against the Giants. That was also connected to this ankle injury. So however you feel about it, it was a significant moment for this team.
Groundhog Mom is right. Stubbs goes in the time capsule, and I'm taking the food back out. Jesse's right. We're not putting the Korean barbecue nachos in there anymore. You can just, whatever happens to him happens in there. No, Garrett Stubbs is a criminal, and he deserves to be arrested by the police and charged with crimes for what he did to the Diamondbacks season. And I'm glad the Phillies got eliminated as quickly as they did because they deserved it. He deserved it. And what are we putting in there? What are we putting in the time capsule? It's Garrett Stubbs' Philly fanatic costume, the one that he wears all the time because he is the second mascot for that team. So there he is.
Well, fun fact about this Philly fanatic costume that we're putting in there, actually.
Yeah.
This is the costume that Garrett Stubbs wore all season at the bank. He would go around, take pictures with children. You know the spiel, typical mascot spiel.
I get it.
But he actually, when they put him in the lineup this day, he left this exact Philly fanatic costume in his locker. So that's where we're taking it from because, obviously he had to put his actual uniform on that day. So yeah, that's we're putting the costume that cost us our season in there.
Yeah, I have no further comments.
I'm sick over this all over again.
I guess I
talked about it.
It was apparent in the moment as someone who is in there talking with these guys after the game that Torey Lovullo, when we asked him about how he felt about the Stubbs slide, he seemed. It was more of a tone of voice thing. He didn't openly say that he thought it was dirty, but his reaction was very different from Ketel Marte's reaction. Yeah. Ketel just kind of instantly was like, no, I didn't have a problem with it at all. Torey did not really seem to be on the same page there. And yeah, understandable. I mean, he wasn't breaking up a double play, right? That wasn't the situation. There wasn't really a reason to be as aggressive as he was in that moment. At least I don't think. So I think it's a valid case for sure.
I don't think it was intentionally dirty, but it definitely was a dirty slide. Like it hurt a guy, and he went 5 feet past the base.
I could not watch that and say that there wasn't. Now, I mean, the extra effort might not have been with the intent to hurt him, but the extra effort was definitely there to like knock the ball out of his hand and just some old school gritty baseball that we don't allow anymore because it causes injuries to star players that then miss time and then their team misses the playoffs by a single goddamn game.
Also Torey and Stubbs have a bit of a history as well. Like Garrett Stubbs, he went on a podcast a while ago after the playoffs last year where he basically was like kind of talking down to Torey for using Garrett Stubbs's jumping in the pool conversation as motivation for the Diamondbacks and was like, if you need that to fire up your team, I mean, by all means, and was kind of being disingenuous about it. So,
sure.
I'm sure Torey isn't really the biggest fan of Garrett Stubbs.
Guess what? It worked.
Neither are we.
Yeah. No. Feelings mutual.
I think I misspoke earlier. I don't think that Ketel had already injured the ankle. I think this was when the ankle injury saga began. And then there were a couple of other episodes to follow where he tried to return and did not look so sharp. So, but yeah, it lingered. It was a factor the rest of the season, even though Ketel was able to play most of the remainder of the games. He clearly was not comfortable in the box for that whole time.
We all silly like the mayor.